Good morning. It's really exciting to be here this morning to reflect on how some of the principles that we've heard described apply in our small corner of the world. My small corner is called West Sussex. I work at the Weald School, which is based in the north of the county, and I also co-lead a network of deputies across West Sussex. I'm pretty sure that most of what we do is not rocket science, but I think if we can become more aware of why what we're doing makes a difference, we can perhaps become a little bit more effective at doing it. Within our school, we of course try whenever we can to raise our human capital. We are now a very successful school with a good local reputation, so we tend to get very good fields for positions advertised. But that wasn't always the case. And many of our staff are still the same people that they were 4.5 years ago when we started our journey. They just work very differently now. We have loved the ones we're with. The way we work both in our school and our locality has changed the ethos and the social capital of our community, which of course has meant that the quality of teaching and the achievement of our students has substantially improved. For example, our outreach work with primary schools involving teachers and students working cross-phase with each other is proving dividends in the quality of literacy, numeracy and languages coming through. Our Weald framework, as we call it, is based on the basic tenets of a growth mindset, combined with the absolute importance of compassion, relentless hard work towards ambitious goals. It's the code by which we expect our students to live by, but these values are so implicitly woven into our language that it also applies to staff equally. So whilst the clear experience of collaborative learning can be seen in our classrooms or our vertical support structures, it's equally an expectation of the staff learning structures. So much as I'm sure many of you will have, professional learning communities, lesson study partnerships, peer coaching, all show a commitment that at every stage of their career, we will invest in teachers, but we expect them to do the same. Leadership training for both staff and students has moved a bulk of our school from passive compliance to empowered commitment. We do have students who demonstrate a consistent thirst for learning. Our middle leaders are able to hold each other and colleagues to account for their practice and outcomes. It's interesting hearing Andy speak. Their decisional capital, we believe, was recently validated by Ofsted, but it wasn't created by it. We're not perfect, we continue to work at it, but there is a clear sense of collective responsibility and a shared belief that good enough just isn't. In our locality, which is Billingshurst and Horsham, 4 local secondaries operate within quite a small geographic area. The potential, therefore, for comparison and competition is great. But we have 4 strong positive heads, collaborative leadership across the schools, and broad CPD within a teaching school alliance. As a result, there are now 3 outstanding schools and 1 extremely good school, all within 15 minutes of each other. Now, that's led to a steady rise in house prices, but it has also led to rising standards as a direct result of colleagues at all levels working together. At a county-wide level, we will run a workshop this afternoon based on the work of that deputies network, the WSDN. And we'll show how West Sussex deputies, in the face of shrinking LEA budgets and the removal of leadership support, created a framework to devolve that human and social capital for ourselves. Refusing to retreat into isolation and competitiveness between ourselves, we formed the Deputies Network. And 3 years on now, it's a vibrant and thriving collective, including maintained secondary schools, faith schools, academies, those with sixth forms, those without. And it provides networking opportunities, leadership training, and thanks to links with the SSAT, inspirational input throughout the year for all deputy heads across West Sussex. Going one step further this year, we're looking to develop models of joint practice development to allow those aspiring to senior leadership the opportunity to work with colleagues across schools, developing their current practice, but being held accountable for its impact. I suppose I feel that whether at a classroom or a leadership level, county or national, we can't possibly do this on our own. We will all view things slightly differently. Inevitably, we'll occasionally disagree, and we'll certainly work in different ways. But we all face similar challenges. I've always believed as a profession we should not shy away from accountability, but I equally believe that our experience shows that when committed professionals work positively together and, critically, are prepared to offer and accept challenge, great things can happen. Arguably, what we've arrived at is something, although not an endpoint, but which is certainly, as Andy suggested earlier, far greater than the sum of its individual parts. Thank you.